All right, the Kyrie Irving situation will not go away. As more and more players and you know, Adam Silver had a meeting with him and all this stuff, and more and more stuff come out. Man, you start to see so many different things and so many different nuances with this whole situation. First, you got players like LeBron James coming out and seemed like they was actually speaking against Kyrie. Then you had analysts like Stephen A. Smith doing the same thing. And now, once people like Jaylen Brown comes out, Floyd Mayweather comes out, and people like this, they're coming out in support of Kyrie, and the overreach by the Brooklyn Nets to try to punish him. It wasn't that they was trying to correct a wrong. They was punishing him, and the reach was so far across the line that even people like Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James had to kind of backtrack and backpedal. But it's not a real show of support. It's not really that. It's just that it's real. It's honest. The Brooklyn Nets went too far. I mean, it's basically what it is, man. So I'm gonna go through this tweet from LeBron James, man. I'm gonna talk about it because I don't think this is really support. I don't think this is real support. And even with Stephen A. Smith, what he said on his show, it wasn't really support, because he came out and said, I don't agree with what Brooklyn Nets are doing. They're trying to emasculate them. They're trying to embarrass them and all this stuff. And I don't agree with that. However, he bought it on himself. I hated that response by Stephen A. Smith. He doesn't deserve this. No one deserves this. This is too much. They're pretty much saying the punishment is unbearable. The punishment is doesn't fit the crime, or the punishment is too much. But they're not saying that he shouldn't be punished. They're saying Kyrie done something wrong and he bought it on himself, but your punishment is too harsh, right? And if you want to kind of like tie that in metaphorically to any plantation, I mean, because regardless if they're making millions of dollars, it's still somewhat of a plantation. It's still somewhat of a prison. Just like the NFL owner back in the day said, we're letting the prison inmates run the asylum, giving too much players empowerment, right? So that's how they think about it. I don't care how much money you're making, you're still sharecropping. You're just making a lot of money because they're making a lot of money, right? So it's not 100% freedom like it should be, but that's another topic for another day. My whole point is, if you metaphorically compare that to the plantation, imagine a slave that's let's say he tried to escape, right? Let's say he tried to escape, or let's say no, he didn't try to escape. Let's say he got caught reading, because it wasn't legal for slaves to read. They didn't want slaves to read. They had rules against slaves reading that was forbidden. So let's say you catch a slave reading and you beat him to almost the end of his life, and you got another slave that lives in the house that says, that's enough, you beating him too much. I'm not saying he didn't bring it on himself, he had no business reading, but the beating is too much, right? That's basically what Stephen A. Smith and LeBron is saying. They're saying, okay, he got caught studying Black history, and Black history actually say that we're someone that another group of people are claiming to be. All right. So instead of me saying that might be true, or saying that he has a right to explore that and share it with people that follow him on Twitter, instead of saying that he done nothing wrong, they're going to go along with the crowd and say he was being anti-Semitic, he was being racist, and he brought this punishment on himself. Y'all just went too far. And I don't like that. So let's go through LeBron's tweet. LeBron says, I told you guys, I don't believe. Now, the reason why he tweeted this is because he's getting absolutely murdered in the social media world. Twitter, to be specific. If you go look at his Twitter and go look at his anything he's posted and just read the comments below it in the last 2 or 3 days, they are murdering. Well, I don't want to say the word murder. They are ripping him to shreds in the comment section. And He's only human. He's read some of them. I know he's read some of them. His wife probably read some of them. And he's not a guy that don't want to be for his people. I mean, he's spoken up for certain things. The kid that got murdered in Georgia by those guys that was probably going to get away with it because they had ties with the sheriff and the police department. LeBron James shined light on that, so he does do some good. It's just that he didn't have to. He wasn't in a situation like that. He wasn't faced to make a decision whether he was going to be black first and stand against his money-making friends. He didn't have to make that decision when he shined light on the kid in Georgia that got killed. He could do that without losing any of his business interests, right? But when it comes to his legacy, his business interests, and his business partners, and the black community, or sticking up for a brother or speaking truth to power, he's going to choose his legacy and his business partners every single time. He did it with China, and he's showing again he's doing it with Kyrie Irving and letting them come out here and pretty much emasculate this man, right? So after he caught so much flack, this is his tweet, because he came out and spoke against Kyrie, saying, "Hey, I don't condone hate speech and blah, all this stuff." And I'm like, you don't say stuff like that, because when you say that, you're actually agreeing that what Kyrie did was hate speech by sharing a Black History documentary. That's not hate speech, right? So he said all those things. People came at him for it, and this is his reply. And you can tell it's bothering him. Otherwise, he wouldn't tweeted this. I told you guys that I don't believe in sharing hurtful information. All right, yeah, you did say that, LeBron, but there was nothing hurtful about Hebrews to Negroes. There was nothing hurtful about it. It was actually a very loving documentary. It was a love story. It was Black history. It was telling us who we were if we didn't already know who we were, because you can read the Bible and actually it tells you who we are, right? But this was a great documentary. Unfortunately for the Jewish community, it kind of shined light on their origin, and that might be hurtful to them. Maybe, I don't know. It might be hurtful, but that doesn't mean I'm practicing hate. I mean, that don't mean I'm practicing hate speech at all, right? It just means someone was hurt by something that was shared, just like I was hurt by watching Roots, right? That ain't hate speech, right? It's just a depiction of something that actually happened, right? Just like I might be hurt when I watch Ancient Aliens and they tell me that an alien built the pyramid when I know it was a black man, right? That's hurtful, but hey, is it hate speech? Right? You get what I'm saying? So just because someone's feelings get hurt by a documentary, it's a depiction of, it was not even a depiction, it's digging into history. All right. So let's stop calling it hurtful information. I mean, let's stop doing that. And I continue to be that way, but Kyrie apologized and he should be able to play. That's what I think. It's that simple. Help him learn. I got another problem with that. What do you mean help him learn? Help him learn what? The documentary was helping him learn his history. That's all he needed to be learning. What is he going to learn, and from who? Help him learn what, LeBron? Because if you already know it and you've learned it and you think he needs to get it, I think that that's something that he should not learn. If he needs to learn how to color in between the lines, whether it's right or wrong, I don't think you need to learn it. If that's what you're suggesting, LeBron, if you're suggesting that he be like you, then no one wants that. No one wants that. Most people respect you on the court. All right. Most people respect you off the court as a family man. Most people respect you off the court as someone who has a good image, who stayed out of trouble, hasn't got caught in any scandals. Like, that's the type of stuff we respect. But when it comes to things of this nature, you're not that stand up, right? You're not that stand up. So I mean, I don't think you're the right person to be trying to lead this help him learn thing. I don't think that's a good thing. but he should be playing. What he is asked to do to get back on the floor, I think, is excessive in my opinion. He is not the person that's being betrayed of him. I agree with that. Anyways, back to my rehab session, right? And then right under that, you see Rizza Islam with the blue check. So it is Rizza Islam. He said, brother, now is the time to stand. He did nothing wrong, which is exactly what I just said. Say that first. I don't care who comes out and support him, whether it's LeBron or Stephen A. Smith, whoever else comes out to try to support this man. You're not doing him any favors by trying to do it halfway and say, hey, this is too much, but he was still wrong. You have to lead with, there was nothing that he did wrong. That's when you want to show me you're a stand-up guy. Because that means that now you got skin in the game. Now you got something to risk. Like what Jaylen Brown just did and said, forget Nike. Okay, y'all drop Kyrie. Hey, man, when was y'all ever about anything ethnic? I'm sorry. Or, you know, what high morals that y'all have is Nike. You know what I mean? So that's putting skin in the game. That's actually sticking your neck out for a brother. Right? What y'all doing? Y'all trying to straddle the fence, and okay, now we see he getting that whooping. That whooping is a little bit too much for just reading. It ain't like he tried to leave the plantation, and it like he tried to burn down the house, right? He just was reading, right? That's all he did. He watched the documentary. So they're saying, look, man, it's wrong. It's against the law for you to read, or it's against the rules for you to say anything that's different from the core values and the core beliefs we already have as Americans. It's against the rules for you to say the earth is flat and believe it. It's against the rules for you to say, hey, we should leave the NBA and start our own league. It's against the rules for you to say, hey, I don't believe in getting that vaccination and putting it in my body. That thing is like 2 months old. Why would I trust that vaccination? Furthermore, it's a violation of my human rights, right? It's against the rules for you to say, hey, everybody go watch this movie that tells us about Black history and tells us that Black people are the original Hebrew Israelites. All of those things are outside of the box, and we gotta slap you, or we gotta put you back in your place when it happens. And what do we do to use? Well, what do we use to put people back in their place? We use their peers, we use the media, and then once the peers and the media get involved, then the public are going to follow suit. They know we're that gullible. If I can get a prominent player like LeBron James to speak against what you said or did, and then I can get all of the media doing the same thing, then I know I'm probably going to get 85 to 95% of the public following it. Only is going to be 10% people with their eyes open. And that's just not enough, right? So they know that. That's why it was so important. We have to hear from LeBron. That's, if you go and follow, I don't know if you followed this thing closely and was looking at tweets while this was going on, you can look at every media person, every reporter. Why is LeBron James so quiet on this? Why was he so quiet on this? Just like when the China thing happened, why is LeBron James not speaking about China? We need the face of the NBA to speak against it, because then everyone's going to follow suit with the face, right? We got to hear from LeBron, and LeBron, you got to say the right thing. That's for the machine, that's for the organization, right? You got to say the same thing the media has been saying, right? That's pretty much how it goes. And it's so important that they had to get LeBron to speak out. And LeBron came out and said exactly what they wanted him to say, right? And he got ethered for it. And now he's trying to backpedal a little bit, just a little bit, to get enough of the public to be like, okay, he's a stand-up guy, but not enough for where his bosses are like, dude, what are you doing? Because he never said Kyrie was right. He said he needs to learn, and he shared hurtful information, which is it can't be further from the truth, right? It's just not a true statement. It's not accurate, right? So here's Rizza Islam saying he did nothing wrong, but those who are treating him like a slave are the very people who enslave our people. Our was in caps. He reminded LeBron, dude, do you know who your people is? Our people. During the transatlantic slave trade, right? So he's giving him a reminder, right? Dude, they looking out for their people. Why you not looking out for yours? I mean, that's how this game is played. It's still a race war. It's still a race game that's going on, right? When it comes to serious topics like this, everyone picks a side, and most people pick a side with their race, and then anybody who's picking a different side than what their race is invested financially with it, and they don't want their finances to get tapped, right? It's not a lot of people that's sticking their neck out and getting their finances tapped. Kyrie Irving did it last year, and he's doing it again right now. Right? That tells me something. He's more man than almost everybody in that league, because you would rather stand up for the wrong thing and protect your legacy. I mean, because at this point, LeBron James don't need no more money. He playing for legacy. He's playing for legacy. He's playing for a couple of reasons. I got to pass Kareem for my legacy. I want to play with my son for my legacy, right? Because who can say that I mean, when you talk about LeBron James 10 years from now, you're going to talk about him in the record books. You're going to talk about how great a player he was. You're going to talk about some of the things he did that no one else did. He played with his son, playing past 40, like, things of that nature. He's playing for his legacy, and legacy for your basketball career only matters in the basketball world. It's not a real thing. Like seriously, it's not a real thing. If we had some type of event, and the pandemic should have showed you this. The pandemic shut down the whole world. If we had an event that was that catastrophic, right, and it put us in a situation where, man, we can't even afford to entertain anymore. It's about survival at this point. What is LeBron James' legacy gonna do for him? So you plan for something that don't even matter. What matters is people, and you can't let people be treated like this, man. And you can't be afraid to speak up and say, man, he did nothing wrong, man. Like, seriously, they almost set a new precedence for what happens if you ever say anything that someone would label anti-Semitic. They almost set a new precedent. If they would have allowed for Kyrie Irving to pay $500,000 to the ADL, speak with Jewish rabbis, speak with do a Holocaust and sensitivity training. It was another training involved in it as well, and then have to go see the owner and say, hey, check my homework. How did I do? Can I get back on the court? If they would allow that to happen, the new precedence every time someone said, hey, that's anti-Semitic, would have been this. This was almost a new precedence. And it almost happened on your watch, LeBron. You almost let this happen. If it wasn't for some of the players and Jaylen Brown as the vice president of the Players Association, because CJ McCullough didn't even stick his neck out and do this. Very weird. So Rizza Islam is trying to school you. He said, did they tell you that, right? Did they tell you that how involved that community was in the transatlantic slave trade? Did they tell you that they financed the transatlantic slave trade? Did they tell you that they own most of the ships? Did they tell you that they was one of the first people to take out insurance on a slave? Do you know how involved they were in the transatlantic slave trade? Do you know the real relationship between those two communities, right? This is what Rizza Islam is saying. It sounds like you were ready to stand up. It really don't sound like that, but I think he's trying to cheerlead a little bit and get and poke him a little bit to help him out. It don't sound like he's ready to stand up. It sounds like he's backpedaling because he got tore up on Twitter, right? Do it! ! Don't be punked by them. That's Rizza Islam, and that's pretty much. I mean, that's coward 101. LeBron James has been a coward. Everyone who is doing the same thing that LeBron is doing, that Stephen A is doing, that halfway support, that fake love, like the thumbnail say, everybody that's doing it is being cowards, right? LeBron has been a coward, man. So don't fall for it. He's not supporting Kyrie. All right, he's not supporting Kyrie. I guarantee you, if all the players decided at the next meeting, look, man, we go all the way in. We all boycotting. We all walking out. I guarantee you LeBron to be the first one to say, all right, let's try something else. Let's not walk out on the lead. Because he's in year 19, year 20. He ain't got much. I mean, imagine if he boycotted this whole year. Like, he need this. And he need to pass Kareem. There's no way LeBron would do that. No way. Just like when he seen that opportunity to go in the bubble, when everybody was like, look, man, I want to go fight for George Floyd. I'm tired of police brutality. I want to go protest. There was NBA players ready to go get in the streets and protest. Kyrie was one of them, right? And Kyrie also took this opportunity to say, look, hey, NBA had to suspend their season, right? The house is on fire. This is a good opportunity for us to leave the plantation and go start our own league. And people told on Kyrie, told Stephen A. Smith, he put it out, and they start trashing him, right? And then all the players, Carmelo Anthony, Pat Beverly, CP3, Kyrie Irving, Avery Brad. There was so many players coming out saying, man, I'm not going in that bubble. I'm not about to freaking go to no Disneyland and leave my family during this pandemic to go play some basketball because the NBA want to make money. I'm not doing that. Now's not the time to do that. And guess what happened? Everybody was like, we need to hear from LeBron. We need to hear from LeBron. And LeBron came out and said, hey, me and the Lakers, we all in. We going to the bubble, right? For a couple of reasons. One, we got to do it for Kobe. And two, LeBron was like, dude, we got a shot at getting this ring. And that's good for his legacy, right? So LeBron was like, hey, man, we got to get in there. We, by any means necessary, we got to go to that bubble. And when LeBron said we're going to the bubble, everybody came out and was like, hey, man, LeBron said we're going to the bubble, we're going to the bubble. That was Pat Beverly's exact words, right? That's the influence he got. So he can't be halfway in, halfway out. He wasn't halfway in on going to the bubble. He was 100% in on going to the bubble. So when it comes to you trying to come support Kyrie Irving, man, let it be real. Be all the way in. Don't give him no halfway. Oh yeah, he deserved it. Well, he don't deserve this harsh of a penalty. He should be playing. He apologized. However, he did do wrong. Nah, man, he didn't do wrong. Admit that. Admit that, man. And God don't like ugly. So, admit it, and then you might be able to escape some of this wrath. But I mean, just admit it, man. He didn't do anything wrong. But that's all, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments, man. Also in the comments, man, let me know what else I should react to. I think I want to do Stephen A. Smith's fake support as well. I mean, I want to break that down because that was just god awful. It was worse than LeBron's tweet. But I'll check y'all out on the next video.